other teams don't really like they respect LeBron, but they don't play like it. You know what I mean? Like, which you can't, because you got to respect the guy, what he can do, and stop him. But you can't completely defer to him just because he's an all-time great. And it seems like New Orleans has some guys that are really deferring to him when they play against the Lakers, which is probably not a good thing for them, but it's a good thing for the Lakers. D'Lo's been playing well lately. They're trying to get Gabe Vincent, Spencer Dinwiddie going. I think the truth is that they need to kind of decide between those guys and play one of them a majority of those minutes so that one of them can find a flow, because they're kind of splitting those minutes and then cutting Christie out and trying to find the flow, which of course they need to. But it's the playoffs are here, and if one of those guys isn't playing well and Max Christie is, then Max Christie needs to play. I hate to break it to, people that are big Gabe Vincent and Spencer Dinwiddie fans. Those guys can provide you versatility, especially defensively on really good guards. They can stay in front of them in a way that obviously D'Lo is not the most athletic guy in the world. He's a great shooter. He plays Olay defense where he kind of channels the guy to a side, but he has a lot of unnecessary fouls. But he's a smart player and he knows how to play. And when he's going on offense, it more than makes up for any defensive problems that he has. But when he's not going on offense, then he kind of becomes a liability where you're like, okay, well, if you're not going to score, then you can't also not defend at the same time. And then, we're a minus 20 when you're out there, right? But when he scores, it's more than worth whatever defensive liability. And most teams aren't great at taking advantage of his defensive liability, especially when you put another good guard like Austin or Gabe Vincent next to him, or even Spencer Dinwiddie's a pretty good defensive guard just as far as his length and his ability to move and all of that. Spencer's been hitting some shots lately. I don't think Gabe's there yet, so I'm thinking maybe they should go kind of Max Spencer kind of thing going on here and kind of let Gabe work his way back in through practice a little bit more, especially because now the Lakers have a bigger problem, which is called the Denver Nuggets, right? In 2020, the Lakers were able to beat Denver. It wasn't, it's not like they beat them off the floor, but what was the difference in that series? They had Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee. So when AD would get in foul trouble, or AD could go deal with Aaron Gordon, and he'd even have to deal with Jokic most of the time. And that's the problem they're going to have now, is that AD is going to be in foul trouble or hurt the whole time, and it's going to affect his offense, and he's not going to be able to be as effective on other people on defense and float around the way he does against other teams. So if the Lakers win against the Pelicans, and by all intents and purposes, look, I mean, I know I'm a Laker fan and I'm a homer, but there's no indication that New Orleans is going to beat the Lakers in any way at any point this season. If they come out and surprise me, that'd be interesting, because then the Lakers could potentially play Oklahoma City, who's finished in the 1. But the 2 is going to be Denver because Minnesota lost, so now they drop down to 3, meaning they get Phoenix, which is going to be a really interesting series to see how those two match up. But ultimately, I think the truth of the matter is the Lakers want to win. You don't want to screw around. You want to win the game. We all don't want to face Denver, but oh well, that's the cards that have been dealt. The Lakers should have had a better record this year if they didn't want those cards dealt. So they've got to beat the Pelicans just to assure a spot in the playoffs. You don't want to lose that just to try to get into a better situation, because then what if you lose the next game against the Warriors or the Kings, especially the Kings? It's very possible you would lose that game. So the Kings have been handling the Lakers the same way the Lakers have been handling the Pelicans all year, and it doesn't look like it's getting any better. Jokic and Sabonis are the 2 guys AD just seems to not have any answer for. If it wasn't for AD's shot in the bubble, that got them that game and the lead in the series, it's very possible that series could have went 7, or it could have went Denver's way in the bubble. So, and Jamal Murray was hurt and coming off a really bad knee injury and stuff when that happened, and they didn't have KCP. We had KCP at that time, and now they've got KCP and Murray, who's healthy. He's been a little injured this year, but he looks good enough. And the rest of their team's really good. Aaron Gordon's taken another step forward. He loves playing next to a Joker because it frees him up to do other stuff. Michael Porter Jr. has turned into a sharpshooter, is where in 2020 he was building brick houses with all of his shots, and so Denver's a serious problem, and I don't think the Lakers are going to win in a 7-game series. I would love to see them pull it out. If LeBron turns into old LeBron, you never know. And if AD can somehow handle Jokic and stay out of foul trouble, you never know. But the problem is what if AD gets 2 fouls early in one of these games? And it's a 7-game series. You're going to play him at least 4, right? So at some juncture of these games, Davis is going to get in foul trouble or go out hurt, or something's going to happen that normally happens with him. And then what? Who are you going to put on Jokic? Rui, LeBron, no. No, I'm sorry, they're just not big enough. They're not big enough. They're good guys and they have big bodies and they're wide, but they're not tall enough. Jackson Hayes is going to get owned by Jokic. That is not going to happen. Even if they had Christian Wood, who's not healthy right now, but even if he was healthy, mm-mm, sorry. So you really so if AD is completely healthy and stays out of foul trouble, him with a lot of help maybe can handle Jokic. But then Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray are going to be open on the perimeter a lot. And when they're not open, KCP, who can hit a wide open shot, especially from the corner, is going to be wide open. So Lakers are going to be in big trouble if they face Denver. But these are the cards that have been dealt. You just got to win the game against New Orleans and then do your best. You know, if they can maybe come out and LeBron can turn back the clock for 4 games in a row or something, you never know, and get Denver out. But the great news is if you can somehow get Denver out, no matter if it's 6, 7 games, whatever, then it's wide open for the Lakers. If they can somehow figure out a way to do that, that'd be great. If some chance they do lose the playing game to New Orleans because they're at home and they just somehow figure out a way to take some pride, or CJ McCollum goes off for 50 or something crazy happens like that, then I do think the Lakers could absolutely beat OKC if they could beat the Warrior or Kings winner. Um, you got to think just because of the Warriors' playoff experience that they're going to find a way to win that game against the Kings. But if the Kings somehow win, I don't think the Lakers are beating them to get into the playoffs. So if they don't beat the Pelicans, they may not get in at all, because they're not. And even the Warriors isn't a walk in the park. They have a lot of experience, and at times they've had. I think when the Lakers really lock in defensively, they can beat the Warriors. And there's been games where you've seen that this year, and you've seen it the other way. The Lakers' problem when they lose is they don't guard the three. And when I say don't guard the three, I mean they're not within like 20 feet of a guy shooting a three. Like they're not even trying to run or close out at a guy shooting a three. It is so frustrating to watch because all year long, the games that could have, like if they had just won a couple more games, they would have been in, and this wouldn't even be a problem. You wouldn't be going against Denver the first probably 2 rounds. You would have been where the Suns are at least, if not higher. And it's crazy to me to watch the Lakers because when they lose, they just have no interest in guarding anybody on the perimeter. It's the strangest thing. And then games where they lock in, they're guarding everybody and they're doing well and they're getting takeaways and it's providing offense for them in transition, and it's great. Fantastic. AD gets out there, you get Rui going, you get D'Lo going, because transition threes are where D'Lo really shines because he loves piling on when the team has momentum, and he'll continue that momentum, and that's when the Lakers get up 20, 30 points is because of stuff like that. And then Austin will catch on and he'll start going, and then he'll get a steal, and then he'll ignite like he did at times tonight. But man, oh man, Denver is a tough matchup. AD has got to stay out of foul trouble and he's got to stay on the court. Those are the two things that have to happen for the Lakers to have a chance. And even if that happens, what happened when they got swept last year? Late game execution. All those games were really close. And in the fourth quarter, the Lakers straight up got out executed. You know why? Because you have to double team Jokic, and then he's going to swing it to Murray, and then you're going to double team Murray on a drive, and then either Jokic is going to step out where he can hit a three because AD's not going to guard him inside because he's helping everybody else, or you're going to kick it to Porter for a wide open three, or Aaron Gordon's going to be wide open underneath for a dunk, or KCP is going to be in the corner for a wide open three, and the Lakers are not going to rotate fast enough. Nobody can to guard that, and then the pick and roll with Murray and Jokic is a whole other set of problems. So LeBron would have to be dynamic offensively. AD has to stay out of foul trouble, stay on the court, and be dynamic offensively. Get a lot of boards because he doesn't get a lot of help on the boards. And Denver is a big team. Porter, Gordon, they got guys. I think they even have McGee. They got somebody else on their bench too that's good and big. They've got tons of guys. So even Michael Porter Jr. for a sharpshooter is like 6'11", 6'10", 6'11". I mean, these dudes can, and he's got bounce. He can get rebounds. So can Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon's a big wide dude, but he's got a vertical. I mean, there's a reason why he was in slam dunk competitions in Orlando and all that. So, the Lakers have drawn a tough deck here, but they said they don't fear anybody, and we'll see. I mean, Denver certainly talked a lot of shit after they won last year. Please excuse my French, but hey, my channel, whatever. Denver talked a lot of shit last year. When they beat the Lakers, they act like they won the title, and they did end up winning. But at the same time, they, were the Lakers' daddy and all that. Well, The Lakers have a lot more titles than you, so I don't know that you're anybody's daddy, but okay, whatever. I mean, you beat them in one series, cool, whatever. You out executed them down the stretch, 4 straight games, and you won. Can't take it away from them. Just like you can't take it away that AD hit that shot and beat you guys, and we won in 2020. Right? It's 1-1, kind of. So we'll see what happens this year. If the Lakers can get it together, I don't think they have enough bigs. Going into the playoffs, I was like, they need to get another big. I know Dwight Howard's going through some legal stuff right now, but Dwight Howard would have been great to get, even though he's a little thinner now than he was in 2020. But I mean, just having his body in there and a guy that knows how to defend the way that Dwight does, and he's a good shot blocker, and he knows how to defend without fouling, and he knows how to body defend without fouling because he's a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. And that's not a joke. Like, it's hard to find guys that know how to do that. And a guy that can body up Jokic without fouling him all the time, and Dwight can do that. AD, I don't know, man. We're about to find out. AD has got to take his game to another level for the Lakers to win that series. He's really got to establish himself as, hey, Joker, you're really good, but so am I. And he's got to at least even Joker out. He's got to even him out for the Lakers to win, so that LeBron can be LeBron and be Superman, get contributions from other guys, because it's going to take everything he has to even out Jamal Murray, plus Porter, plus KCP, plus Gordon, plus the guys off the bench. It's going to be tough, and the Lakers bench has to show up. There's none of this. We're going to stand around and watch LeBron. Tonight, there was a lot of standing around, and when they put LeBron back in the game, because what was going on is all these other guys were just standing around, and the offense stopped moving, and that's what Rui was talking about the game before. Even though they won against Memphis, they barely won. You could argue they should have lost that game. If it wasn't for some late game stupid stuff that guys that don't usually play a whole lot of minutes in Memphis were doing, that another team you would not, if that was Sacramento or any other decent team, you would not have gotten away with that, and the Lakers would have lost that game. And Rui was saying, we were not moving the ball. We're all standing around watching. The Lakers have got to get out of watch mode. They have got to stop watching dudes catch and shoot threes. They have got to stop watching LeBron go to the basket. Like, you have to do things around him. And look at what happens. When you do that, LeBron finds you. He will reward you. Look at what's been happening with Rui the last couple weeks, where Rui is getting under the basket and getting wide open dunks or dunking on people, which I love to see because he's very aggressive. I hate it when you see guys go underneath the basket and then they lay it up. It's like, if you will go in for the dunk, somebody will either foul you or you're going to dunk on them. Right? Like, straight up and down. Because otherwise you can miss a layup and not get a call and be standing there complaining to the referees, and they're in the playoffs, they don't care. They're just going to look at you. In the playoffs, they're going to let it go as much as they can because they want it to be about the game and not about the officials, which is but more than you can say for other sports. MLB, Angel Hernandez, all right, fix that problem. Anyway, that's a different subject for a different day. But the Lakers have all the opportunity in the world in front of them, but they're going to have to earn it the hard way. And we're about to see what LeBron's got left in the tank, as healthy as he's been in a while going into the playoffs. And we're going to see what AD's truly made of after grinding out a pretty full season and not missing a whole lot of games. But I don't want to see, hey, if you turn around and Jokic hits you in that eye because you don't have goggles on, your ass needs to stay in the game. Right? Like, that's your choice not to have those goggles on. You could have, trust me, you think I like wearing these? No, they protect my freaking eyes, dude. Like, that's why I got them on. When this started in basketball, because I kept getting hit in the face, in the eyes, because I was a big guy playing down low like AD. That's where these came from. That's why I started wearing these. So AD, I get it. Trust me, I get it. That's not an excuse, because you're choosing not to take advantage of that, right? You could do that if you wanted to. You don't even need prescriptions. You just need protective goggles. They're clear. They wouldn't even bother you. But if you're not going to wear them, then you can't use that excuse, right? You can't use that excuse. Not in the playoffs. Not against Joker. Because he's going to be putting you on your ass, and you're not going to want to be in there. And if you use that as an excuse, your team's going to lose by 30. You can't do it. But first, they got to beat the Pelicans again, which I have all the faith in the world that they can do. Please subscribe, guys. That's all I ever ask. Leave your comments, likes. What do you want to see? What don't you want to see? Leave it below, and then I know how to adjust the content to whatever it is that earns that subscription. I'll earn it. Tell me what you want. I'll earn it. All right? Till next time. Go Lakers.